Hello everyone, hope you can hear me okay, and welcome to the Shanty Sessions, the live stream Shanty Sessions. This is episode number 29, and here we are once again. We're ticking much closer to our real life sessions coming up, I think, next week, and very excited we are to be getting back in amongst us. Unfortunately, we only had room for 24 people, and all those places have been taken up. So if you're looking for a place in future sessions, you get yourself ready for when they become available. In the meantime, the first session back, I'm afraid all the seats are taken. I'm going to say hello to a few people because it's only right to do so. First off, straight in at number one, is Carly Franklin. Evening, Stephen Paul and everyone. Evening, Carly. Linda Boy says, here we are again, hope everyone is okay. Well, we're okay, and we hope you're okay, Linda. Michelle Gallagher, good evening, everyone. Little wave. Good evening, Michelle, hope you're well. And Jackie Draper speaks on behalf of herself and sometimes Barry Draper. She says, evening all, and good evening to the Draper household. Claire Louise Langley, good evening everyone, hope everyone's doing okay. Well, we hope you're doing okay as well, Claire, so thank you very much everybody for joining us. We've got about 22 people joining us on this stream, and a few more joining us on the Rogue Shanty Boys stream, and also some joining us on the YouTube stream, which is very good, because if you are unable to access these live streams via Facebook, then you'll be able to pick them up on YouTube and vice versa. First off, I do need to ask, would you please consider doing this small favour for us, and please click share. There she is, good old share. Just give her a click, and I don't mean this actual picture of her, I mean when you're on Facebook, you can share our little broadcast to all of the people on your Facebook friends list. And it means that we are able to get our reach just a little bit further, make sure that we can access and engage with a few more people. Now, if you are joining us for the first time, or perhaps you've skipped through this bit in the past, and you're wondering what the Rogue Shanty Chorus is, and the Rogue Shanty Chorus is who we are, this really we would define as an authentic fishing choir based in Lowestoft. And Lowestoft, for those that don't know, is the most easterly town in the UK that celebrates the music of fishermen and seafaring communities. We sing sea shanties and maritime themed songs as part of a wider creative arts project called the Unique Coastal, Cultural and Musical Heritage of Waveney. This celebrates the associated heritage of the fishing industry in North Suffolk. So once again, hello to everybody that's joining us for the first time, and for everybody that's we've picked up along the way and now consider themselves as Rogue Shanty Chorus members, and for anybody that is actually Rogue Shanty Chorus members and are looking forward to joining us once again next week, next Tuesday. Anyway, a few more comments coming in. Ben Southern, she says, evening everyone. Good evening, Ben, nice to know you're out there. Kasia Marcinkovska, she says, hi Paul, did Stephen leave you alone again? Well, not quite, he's running late again, but that's okay, don't worry, he'll be here. I haven't killed him. Honest. And one more from Wendy Duncan. Hi everyone. As you're going back to rehearsals next week, is this the last live stream? Well, no, it's not the last live stream. We haven't quite figured out exactly how to provide yet, but we will let you know very shortly. Watch this space, I think, is the best thing I can say. And in due course it will all become clear. It's not that we haven't worked it out yet, it's just that we haven't worked it out yet. But that's okay. Anyway, in the meantime, shall we sing you a little song? Now, we have one of our good rogues, the lovely Sue Day. She's actually away at the moment in a fantastic part of the world called Cornwall. She says, I arrived in Cornwall today for a wee holiday. Any chance of some Cornish sea shanties tonight? I'm near Calstock on the River Tamar for a week. River, sea, Clydesdale horses. Looking forward to tuning into the Rogues Chorus tonight. Well, thank you very much, Sue. Nice to know you're out there. Unfortunately, we planned this so far in advance that a genuine Cornish sea shanty could be tricky. We did have one last week, and I forget which one it was, but that's very, very much Cornish. Maybe we'll have the chance to do the Unnatural Murder, which is in that part of the world. In the meantime, I wonder if I could sing you a song maybe later. The Cornish anthem Trelawney. I'll give that a try in a little while, but in the meantime, how about one that we all know and love? If you have a folder on you that you would normally go to as the catalogue for Rogue Shanty Chorus songs, this would be number 5 in your repertoire, and it's a nice easy sea shanty to sing along with. It's called Sam's Gone Away, and what I need everybody else to do, if you don't know this song, feel free to just have a listen. If you do know it, you're obliged to join in, I'm afraid, and at least to join in with the chorus lines, which we will display on your screen now. Let's have a look. Hopefully you can all see that. I'm going to put some effect on because that's what we do in the business, as we say. I wish I was a cabin boy aboard a man of war. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. Pretty work, brave boys, pretty work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. I wish I was a bosun aboard a man of war. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. Pretty work, brave boys, pretty work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. I wish I was a gunner aboard a man of war. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. Pretty work, brave boys, pretty work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. I wish I was a captain aboard a man of war. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. Pretty work, brave boys, pretty work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. I'm glad I'm not a maiden aboard a man of war. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. Pretty work, brave boys, pretty work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. Just gonna wait for the stroll to come up the screen. You'll never be a hero aboard a man of war. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. Pretty work, brave boys, pretty work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. I wish I was a cook aboard a man of war. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. Pretty work, brave boys, pretty work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. I wish I was a kick aboard a man of war. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. Pretty work, brave boys, pretty work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. Pretty work, brave boys, pretty work, I say. Sam's gone away aboard a man of war. And as I said, that is number 5 in our repertoire for anybody that has it. If you don't have it, it's called Sam's Gone Away. And what can we tell you about Sam's Gone Away? Well, we can tell you a few things. And those few things are, it's Round Index 21127. It comes originally from the West Indies. And now Jack Stanesco, he collected Sam's Gone Away from the fishermen on St. Vincent's Island in 1971 when he was there in the Peace Corps. He brought it back with him and recorded it on his album, The New Golden Ring, 5 Days of Singing, Volume 2, which I believe is a collector's item now. Capstan's Shanty of murky origins, he says, starting with cabin boy and rising up through the ranks to eventually the Admiral. And that's all you need to know, really, in a nutshell, about that fantastic song. Now, what else have we got? We've got a lot of comments come in already again. Anne Benz, the wonderful Anne Benz. Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Anne. Glad to know you could join us tonight. So sorry about the other day. We tried, didn't we? But tonight, you're successful. Fantastic. Now, Janice Marjoram, hello everyone. This is getting a bit like school register, but not in the conventional alphabetical order. Oh, and I'm never on time. Late mark for me. Well, better late than never, we always say. She also says late mark for Carol too, which is a little bit unfair, just because Carol Fisher's also climbing in behind her. But you can comment or say hello at any point. In fact, I would love to know that you're out there, and I love we both do. I speak for Stephen and myself. We love to receive your comments. We love to know that you're clicking share, and we love to know if there's anything that you want of us. So if there's anything at all, we'll do our best to oblige. Just stick it in these comments. Carol has a good laugh because she's got a late mark from Janice. And I tell you who else likes to know that you're watching and enjoying and commenting, and that is the People's Health Trust. And their logos look a little bit like this. Now, the People's Health Trust, as I mentioned earlier, they're kind enough to be funding these live streams. They fund our whole project at the moment, and very, very grateful we are too. And we're so grateful as well that they decided to keep us going through lockdown and through this epidemic period of social distancing. Very, very grateful, because it meant that we could still engage with people out there, and we've managed to pick up some new people along the way, which is even better still. So once more, thank you very much to the People's Health Trust for keeping the Rogue Shanty Chorus singing so far. Now, I bet you're going to ask me, what is this week's Suffolk word or phrase? So you're going to say, hey, you heard it, boy. And I'm going to say, hey, you heard it, boy. And the word is lastisnest. Lastisnest. I think quite a few of you are going to get this. But anyway, it's from our book called Suffolk Words and Phrases by the wonderfully talented etymologist Edward Moore. And like I said, this week's word on our Hey You Heard It Boys segment is lastisnest. Lastisnest. So, how you heard it? I wonder. Let us know. Have a guess, have a stab in the dark, do whatever you like. Now, we've got a few things coming in strong here. Claire Garrett says, hi, I just got Sam's Gone Away. Enjoyed that. Thank you very much. Some applause from Marion. Some applause from Carly. Probably undeserved. Great start to the evening, says Michelle. Thank you very much. Janice is having a laugh. That's fine. Janet Woods of the Woods household. She says, detention for us, I think. We're even later. Hello, everyone. Hello to Janet and hello to David. Both wonderful people. Hello to Ashley Bovington. She says, evening. Sorry. He says evening. Forgive me, Ashley. I haven't got my glasses on. Anyway, he definitely looks like a gentleman. And he says evening. So evening to Ashley. Thank you very much for joining us. And I think I made that same mistake last week, but who's counting? Now, a couple of questions. They're both the same one. Linda Boy says, what is a killick, please? And Jude Bennett says, what's a killick in the Shanty lyrics? Well, a killick, as in I wish I was a killick. A killick is basically in this instance, a killick is a rank in the naval officers, and it comes from the name of a particular type of anchor, and the anchor was used on the crest of this rank, and that's why the rank is itself known as a killick. More than that, I couldn't possibly say, but hopefully you get the gist. Anyway, what else have we got for you? How about a lovely song called 70. This is a bit of a story song, and we learnt this via the Liam Clancy version. I believe it was recommended to us by David Woods, so thank you very much for that. And I had a conversation with him about how demonstrative and how much of a storyteller Liam Clancy can be, and in this song, in his version of this song, it's certainly no different. Now, let me give you a little bit of context. 70 is a song in memory of the fishermen of Grimsby and Hull who lost their lives in the gale of the 8th and 9th of February 1889. It was a great storm which caused much loss of life all along the east coast of Britain. As the song says, from Yarmouth, which is Great Yarmouth, not Yarmouth on the Isle of Wight, but Yarmouth near near where I live, down to Scarborough. And the reason they say down to Scarborough, even though to go to Scarborough you're actually travelling north, is an interesting fact. Of the seamen of East Anglia always talk of down, meaning going north, and up, meaning going south. And it's to do with going uphill towards the equator. They would class that as because the equator is the fattest part of the Earth. They felt like they were going uphill towards the equator. So when they were going south, they were going up, and when they were going north, they were going down, because they were going down towards the North Pole. Or so it would seem. So interesting little quirk to the East Anglian fishermen. Now, the lyrics of this song belong to a poem which was composed by Grimsby fisherman William Delph, who published the text as a broadsheet. After losing a few verses and acquiring a fine chorus and tune, the song was collected in 1957 from Master Mariner J. Pearson of Filey, a member of the Filey Fishermen's Choir, who had preserved the song in their repertoire. So that's about all I can tell you, really. William Delph, the lyricist, was born at Wankford in Suffolk, which is also very near to where we live. He was born in 1851, and I'm afraid he lost his life at sea around 1893, around the age of 40. Yeah, so it's a sad tale for him himself as well, but this is a beautiful song. For any of you rogues out there, you will know that this is in our repertoire as number 36. It's got a quirky little extra couple of beats, so if you're not familiar with this and you'd like to join in, do so, but you might need to hold on tight to have a listen to see how it goes. Let me see if I can find it. I'll tell you what you could do. You could talk amongst yourselves while I have to find this particular piece. I'm going to sing you the chorus just so you can hear that interesting little swagger to get through. And it's 70 boys and men were lost from Grimsby town. From Yarmouth down to Scarborough, many hundreds more were drowned. Our herring craft, our trawlers, our fishing smacks as well, they long defied the bitter night and battled with the swell. So you can hear that there's that extra interesting little kind of jump of the feet that you have to do. But if you want to join in, we should be able to demonstrate the lyrics any second now. He says, brilliant. We're almost there. You know what? I think I'm going to have to abandon it. I gave it such a massive build-up, didn't I? And now where are we? What a shame. I'm going to go to a couple of comments while I desperately try to sort this out. I'm just going to sing it to you, that's what I'm going to do. You'll have to make up the lyrics. Methinks I see some little craft spreading their sails a lee, as down the Humber they did glide, bound in the northern sea. Methinks I see on all small craft a crew with hearts so brave, going to earn their daily bread upon the restless wave. Methinks I see them as they left the land all far behind, casting the lead into the deep, their fishing grounds to find. Methinks I see them on the deck, working with a will, to shoot their net into their deep, either for good or ill. And it's 70 boys and men were lost from Grimsby town. From Yarmouth down to Scarborough, many hundreds more were drowned. Our herring craft, our trawlers, our fishing smacks as well, they long defied the bitter night and battled with the swell. Methinks I see them shoot their trawl upon the Thursday night, and saw the watch upon the deck, and everything was right. Methinks I see them yet again, when daylight did appear, all hands working with a will, getting off their gear. Methinks I see them net on board, and fish so fresh and gay, and all were busily engaged, clearing them away. Methinks I see them put away into the ice below, and then the sea began to rise, and the wind did stronger blow, and it's 70 boys and men were lost from Grimsby town. From Yarmouth down to Scarborough, many hundreds more were drowned. Our herring craft, our trawlers, our fishing smacks as well, they long defied the bitter night and battled with the swell. Methinks I heard the skipper say, my lads will shorten sail, as the sky to all appearance looks like an approaching gale. Methinks I see them yet again, and all on board was right, with sails close reefed, the deck cleared up, and sidelights burning bright. Methinks I see them yet again, the midnight hour was past, their little craft was battling there with the fiery blast. Methinks I heard the skipper say, cheer up my lads, be brave, we'll trust in him who rules the deep, in him who alone can save. And it's 70 boys and men were lost from Grimsby town. From Yarmouth down to Scarborough, many hundreds more were drowned. Our herring craft, our trawlers, our fishing smacks as well, they long defied the bitter night and battled with the swell. Methinks I read the thoughts of them who now are called away. They were thinking of their loved ones dear, many miles away. Thinking of wife and children dear, and aged parents too, who no more will see them again in this world below. Great God, thou sees each sorrowing heart, the widow in distress. Thou knowest the little children dear, who now are fatherless. Comfort and cheer them here below, and lead them by thy hand, and at last may they meet with their loved ones dear in the promised land. And it's 70 boys and men were lost from Grimsby town. From Yarmouth down to Scarborough, many hundreds more were drowned. Our herring craft, our trawlers, our fishing smacks as well, they long defied the bitter night and battled with the swell. So sorry we couldn't display the lyrics for you. Would much rather have sung it with you all. But we've got some comments coming, and they are from Michelle Gallagher. She says, evening Ash, in reference to Ashley Bovington, who in return says, hey Michelle Gallagher. Janice Marjoram says, tut tut, Mr. and Mrs. Woods, outside the head's door for you both. Now, I am going to stab in the dark and guess she means the headmaster's door, and she doesn't mean the ship reference. Now, on a ship, the heads would be basically the toilet. So I'm guessing she's not confining them to the toilet door. She's asking them to go to the headmaster's office. Monica Manning. Hi, Paul and everyone. 2 smiley faces. 2 anchors. Janet Woods, she's going straight in with a guess on lastousness. She says, does the word lastousness mean the most recent? I think it's very, very, very certainly possible, if not probable. We'll wait and see. Hello everyone, says Sandra Warner. Luckily, was here from the beginning, but had a phone call just as you started to sing Sam's Gone Away. You didn't miss much, Sandra. Lucky Sue Day in Cornwall with Clydesdales. Yep. Very envious of Sue, because Cornwall is a lovely place to be. Love that little extra flip beat, says Marion. Yeah, it's a quirky little thing, isn't it? And Melanie Joy says, this is local to us here in Louth near Grimsby, one we often have from Shanty Jack at the Folk Club. Well, I'm guessing, Melanie, you didn't need the lyrics, which is handy because I didn't have them to display. Claire Louise Langley says, I know Carly Franklin from school. We are best friends. I think we knew that, actually. I think we mentioned that a few weeks back, but thanks for the clarification, and thanks for joining us. Maggie Clark gives 3 rounds of applause. Too kind. An excellent rendition of 3 Score and 10. Thank you, says Janet Woods, or maybe David Woods. Not too sure. Michelle Gallagher says, been a while since I've sung this one. 3 rounds of applause. Now, Michelle, I know he's from Rankford. I said it. I've got a stage invader here. Michelle says, been a while since I've sung this one, and I think I saw on your Facebook feed today, your time hop said that it'd been a whole year since you performed with the Rogue Shanty Chorus, and I think you're probably right, and that's a sad state of affairs, isn't it, that COVID has left us in. So what else do we have for you? How about this one, which is called Round the Bay of Mexico. It's number 31 in your folders, and if you don't know it, I can definitely display the lyrics for this one because I checked. Yeah, sorry. He's moaning about the guitar strap already. Claire Louise Langley says, really enjoying the songs. Thank you very much, Claire. I think you'll love this one because it's one of my favourites. I absolutely love this one. Round the Bay of Mexico. Now, what can we tell you about the Bay of Mexico? We actually know this, or rather, I learned this song from the Wilson Brothers version. But there is another. What? Yeah, they sang this in Panto, didn't they? And there is a very good version that you will find via what's his name? Alan Lomax. He's a collector of different folk songs, and all through the genre rips through. He's literally a song collector, a music collector, and it's a fantastic version you can find. Hello, get out of it, you. You can find through him.
Nice, isn't it?
But as I said, we're going to stick with the Wilson Brothers copy, and it's called Round the Bay of Mexico, number 31. Let's display it, shall we?
Yes.
Yes, we have, Head.
Oh, he's clever. I'm sorry I'm late, everyone. I do apologise.
That's right. Everything went swimmingly well.
I bet.
Yep.
Round the Bay of Mexico, way up Louisiana, Mexico is the place that I belong in. Round the Bay of Mexico, all around the Bay of Mexico, way up Louisiana, Mexico is the place that I belong in. Round the Bay of Mexico, when I was young and in me prime, way up Louisiana, pretty girls came around in line. Round the Bay of Mexico, go all around the Bay of Mexico, way up Louisiana, Mexico is the place that I belong in. Round the Bay of Mexico, them Nassau gals don't wear no comb, way up Louisiana, comb their hair with a kipper backbone. Round the Bay of Mexico, all around the Bay of Mexico, way up Louisiana, Mexico is the place that I belong in. Round the Bay of Mexico, but now I'm old and I'm going grey. Way up Louisiana, pretty girls walk the other way. Round the Bay of Mexico, all around the Bay of Mexico, way up Louisiana, Mexico is the place that I belong in. Round the Bay of Mexico, Mexico is the place that I belong in. Round the Bay of Mexico. Whoa! Wow, there you go.
There you go. Stephen, that's too late. That's your reminder to start the...
Let's stop this video share. Oh, do you know what? And we had agreed to do a certain something in that song, and I completely forgot to do it. So I do apologise, not to Paul, but to anyone else.
How about we have another look at that word? How you heard it, boy? It's called fastestness, and we wonder if you have in fact heard it, boy.
Where is it? Oh, there.
Sorry, not fastestness, lastestness.
Lastinest.
Yes, lastestness. I'm going to go to comment corner right now. And we're going to have a little look at the comments that are coming in. We have Sandra Warner says, "Yeah, love it." Well,
She loves a bit of it.
She loves the song. Love this song. Well done, lads. Thank you, Claire. Love this one, says Michelle Gallagher. Sandra Warner says, "Oh!" And Jude Bennett says, "Well sung, thank you very much." Claire Garrett says, "Love that." Marion Bouchette says, 3 rounds of applause. Thank you very much. Now, the only person so far that's stuck their neck out on our word, which is lastinest, is Janet Woods. Does the word lastinest mean the most recent? Well, I think that's a good guess, very good guess, but we'll have to wait and see. And I'm hoping that a few other people might actually have a little go at guessing how you heard it, boy. Stephen, got anything good? No, it just hasn't. Okay. Now,
do you know what I have actually?
Go on then.
There you go. Like he beeps in to steal the. Do you know what? It has come to my attention that we have. I have posted a live stream with some historical and geographical inaccuracies, and I must address that right now. Because some time ago, and it was some time ago, I put out a live stream from where was it from? From Lowestoft Beach, and in that I said 2 things. One was that the very recently demolished Grand Hotel was the place that the Rolling Stones had played in Lowestoft back in the 60s before they were famous. And in fact, it was brought to my attention recently that they didn't play at the Grand Hotel. They played at the Royal Hotel. And the Grand Hotel was at the site that CFAS is on and was in, but it's very, very recently been demolished.
Had a lovely ballroom, didn't it?
Did have a lovely ballroom, yeah. And it's been demolished and made way for a brand new building for CFAS, which is all but finished. And so the skyline has been inextricably changed forever from Lowestoft Beach. And the other thing was, I said that over my shoulder from my phone when I was going live, I said you can see North Cove down the way. But of course you couldn't see North Cove at all. You could see Cove Hythe. Okay, and I did know that. I did know it was Cove Hythe. I've been there many times. It's a beautiful, beautiful beach. If you don't know the area too well, if you ever come down visiting this way, do try and go down the beaten track and out of your way a bit towards Cove Hythe Beach, because it's beautiful. I didn't know it was Cove Hythe, but for some reason I always get Cove Hythe and North Cove mixed up. Anyway, that's that.
I'm going to have a guess at who might have corrected you.
Yeah, go on.
Was it the same person for both of them?
Yes.
Was it a gentleman?
Yes.
From the chorus?
Yes.
Was it Barry?
Yes.
Yes, I knew it would be. Yeah. I wonder if Barry actually is a big Rolling Stones fan.
I think he probably is. Well, anyway, so what are we going to do now?
Well, I was kind of reliant on you to do a song.
Okay, that's fine. What have we got? Any songs lined up, or are we just going to do anything?
Well, you're off the book, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Talk for a second, and I'll just bring up something.
Well, we've had a couple more guesses, haven't we, from our lovely rogues. Sandra Warner says, "Lastinest, was it last the longest?" Oh, I see. Yeah. Does it mean to last the longest? Yeah. Similar, does it mean the very last, says Jude Bennett. Yep, all very similar. And we have Linda Boy saying, "I saw the Stones at the Royal and another time at the South Pier." Lucky you. I very much would have liked to have seen the Stones, but nowadays, who can afford it? Lastinest, could it mean something that will last a long time? Oh, I see. So it's more like a measurement than a point of time. That makes sense to me, Michelle. I like that one.
Well, anyway, I'm going to do a song now. This is
This is not a very well-known song. I mean, it's American for a start, so certainly not too well known to us Brits, but there's not a lot of information about it really, but it certainly is a traditional song. There is a thread on the internet that claims that somebody wrote it, but then later on in the thread he admits to rewriting the tune from memory because he'd heard it many years since and had done a lot of research to try and find out the provenance and couldn't. But certainly there's a lot of comments on his thread from old sailors who said, yeah, it certainly was a traditional. Anyway, it's a song called Way Down the Ohio, or also known as Shawnee Town, also known as Way Down in Shawnee Town. He says, it was a song that was sung by the men who worked the barges on the Ohio River. And generally it was known, as it is anywhere in the world, that going downstream is rather easy, or was rather easy. You just need to make sure that you don't hit the bank. Super easy. However, going back upstream, often the crew would either walk along the shore, hauling the boat with tow ropes, or the men would grab branches and trees and bush and edges of bank or rope to pull the boat back up. And this is a process in sailing terms known as bushwhacking. Bushwhacking has several terms, usually attributed to being outside, but certainly in sailing terms, river sailing terms, bushwhacking a boat back is to go against the current using very low-tech means of just pulling yourself along. And I certainly love this song. It's fairly new to my kind of memory, but there's a bit of information about it, particularly in some American folk threads, and they all pertain to flatboats, which were generally floated down the river towards New Orleans, and then the boats themselves were broken up and sold for their timber. So if you've ever seen a TV show or a film of Huckleberry Finn, you can imagine the kind of boats that they'd use in productions like that. That's absolutely what these were like. Anyway, this is Way Down the Ohio. Sun rose up, but we floats down, way down the Ohio to Shawnee Town, and it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Now the current's got her and we'll take up the slack, we'll float her down to Shawnee Town and bushwhack her back, and it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Whiskey's in the jug, boy, weed is in the sack, we'll trade 'em down to Shawnee Town and bring the rock soul back, and it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Got a gal in Louisville, one in New Orleans. When I get down to Shawnee Town, gonna see my Indian queen. And it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Water's mighty warm, boys, the air is cool and dank, and the cursed fog, it gets so thick you cannot see the bank. And it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Been working on this river, boy, so dad burned many years. Sometimes this water, boy, some's like this old hot tears. And it's hard on the beach shore, she moves too slow, way down to Shawnee Town on the Ohio. Sun rose up, but we floats down, way down the Ohio to Shawnee Town, way down the Ohio to Shawnee Town, way down the Ohio to Shawnee Town. So yeah, lovely song. I can't find really many, or I found just 2 recordings of it online. Both lovely versions, both very different. We put a little 5/4 bar in our version, but way down the Ohio. So yeah, lovely. Ooh.
So I promised Sude a song from Cornwall. They don't have any decent shanties in Cornwall, or anywhere in Devon either. I'm joking, of course, but what they do have is they have a national anthem It's not quite a national anthem because Cornwall is in its own country in its own right. And for anybody viewing from Poland or Colombia, you know who you are. You might find that strange to think that Cornwall could or should be a country in its own right. But basically, our very small island was split into lots of different monarchies at one point, and much like Scotland, but slightly less advanced politically, the Cornish have an aim of independence. So somewhat subdued at the moment, but this is the Cornwall. This is the Cornish anthem. It's called Trelawney.
Ooh.
And I'm struggling not to put it to the tune of the old Hi-O. And it goes like this. A good sword and a trusty hand, a merry heart and true. King James's men shall understand what Cornish lads can do. And have they fixed the where and when, and shall Trelawney die? His 20,000 Cornish men will know the reason why. And shall Trelawney live, and shall Trelawney die? His 20,000 Cornish men will know the reason why. Out spake their captain, brave and bold, a merry wight was he. If London towers Michael's hold, would set Trelawney free. We'll cross the Tamar land to land, the Severn is no stay. With one and all and hand in hand, and who shall bid us nay? And shall Trelawney live, and shall Trelawney die? His 20,000 Cornish men will know the reason why. And when we come to London Wall, a pleasant sight to view. Come forth, ye cowards, all his men as good as you. Trelawney he's in keep and hold, Trelawney he may die. But 20,000 Cornish bold will know the reason why. And shall Trelawney live, and shall Trelawney die? His 20,000 Cornish men will know the reason why. And shall Trelawney live, and shall Trelawney die? His 20,000 Cornish men will know the reason why. And that's called Trelawney, the unofficial anthem of Cornwall.
I didn't know that at all. Or at least I did, but I know it was the Grand Old Duke of York.
Yeah, basically that. Yeah, it could be that's what I was singing. Who knows?
Mm.
Anyway, that one's for Sude, who's in that lovely part of our wonderful country.
Yep.
It's the furthest southwest you can get, really.
Jude Bennett says, I learnt that one, Shawneetown, in a youngun's workshop a few years ago. Oh, so
Nice.
there's at least one Brit group doing it then. Well, great, because it's a fantastic song.
And they're a fantastic trio.
Absolutely, yeah. Quick thank you to Michelle for always being on hand to give us some advice. And apparently I'm possibly a wee bit loud in places, so I've moved my mic further away, and I'm not going to bellow like Brian Blessed anymore. So we always do, believe it or not, we do like to get feedback, even when it's to say something's wrong or this is rubbish. Because there's no point in us doing something if it's not working well or you don't like it, okay? Doesn't mean we'll stop doing it, but yeah, please always give us some feedback, even if it's mid-session and you think we started off okay but something has gone wrong. Ooh.
I'm going to go to Comment Corner because there's some interesting guesses that I can see already. One is from Marion Bouchet. She's talking about Hey Heard It Boy, our regular section of Suffolk words and phrases from the book of the same name by Edward Moore. And she's wondering if our word for the day, lastinest, could mean made to measure, as in a shoe made on a last. Oh, I know. Well, that's a good different direction. I like it a lot, and I like the out-of-the-box thinking. So thank you for that. Carly Franklin said, a nice song like that, and I think she means the old Shawnee, because I saw that coming. And Jackie Draper says, I think it was Maggie who corrected you about the Rolling Stones, says Barry.
Oh, was it? Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not alike.
No.
Kasia Marcinkowska says, love it, and thank you very much, Kasia. And Michelle Gallagher says, nothing but 3 rounds of applause. Thank you very much. Oh, there's a long one there from Sule. Let me see, what does she say? A friend lives nearby. Today looked at Gunners Lake Canal, all of a quarter mile to bypass a river weir. Tomorrow to the Tavistock Canal, about 5 miles long, used to transport goods between Tavistock and Morwenna Quay, which is on a tidal section of the River Tamar. Goods transshipped onto seaworthy 60 to 80 feet long ships there. At high tides, the ships went out. One ship is left in poor. One ship, well, in poor condition. The quay was used for the TV, Edwardia. Not sure. What else? Anyway, we've had that one. Janice Marjoram says, "I love a good Trelawney shout." Sorry, I thought you were casting this person. I love a good Trelawney shout. Well, we did our best with that, Janice. And we've had that. Who we got? Melanie Joy says, "Rubbish, it's brilliant. So enjoying this." Thank you very much, Melanie. Not sure what I said rubbish in reference to, but I'm glad you're enjoying it, and thank you very much. I think you're quite new to us, if not brand new to us. So thank you very much, and there's plenty more to come. One such song is this.
Well, so we're going to do for you now a song called "The Mermaid." And there's a fascinating tale behind this. It's quite an ancient ballad, and in fact in the Roud Folk Index it's Roud 124, so that tells you that certainly it's a very old one, because that's somewhere towards the beginning. And obviously mermaids are among folklore's most beloved magical creatures, especially among children, but they're usually depicted as beautiful women with long kind of fishy tails. They're very beguiling and beautiful. They're often topless, which helps to capture the imagination.
Sailors do like that, don't they?
Gents as well. But this one is a darker tale. When I say tale, I mean Tale, not Tail. And you can find traces of it kind of moving over into other broadside ballads and very old songs and poems. And this one Paul mentioned already, I think, as I came in, Alan Lomax. But Alan and Elizabeth Lomax collected a fine version of this song from a wonderful singer called Eliza Pace of Hyden, Kentucky, in 1937. It's worth checking out. I believe it's on his on the Alan Lomax archive website, song collection website, and definitely worth checking out. It's a beautiful version of a song, and in fact there are several other versions by other Americans as well. Ralph Vaughan Williams kind of fairly famously, I'm going to say, collected a version of this. I think he rather rewrote the melody, as far as I understand it. And A.L. or Bert Lloyd also recorded it. And the version I guess we find ourselves nearest to is the Clancy Brothers. They performed it for 4 decades. And really kind of put it into the realm of almost like comedy song, and it is, I guess, as well. But if you take it a little more seriously, if you could do, then the lyrics become rather dark, and that's certainly how most of the American versions seem to go. But anyway, this is The Mermaid. So I did mean to tune one of my strings before I started this, but here we go. Friday morning as we set sail, it was not far from the land. Oh, there I spied a fair pretty maid with a comb and a glass in her hand. The stormy winds did blow, and the raging seas did roar, while we poor sailors went to the top, and the landlubbers lay below, 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 and the landlubbers lay below. Then up spoke a boy of our gallant ship, and a well-speaking boy was he. I've a father and mother in Portsmouth town, this night they weep for me. The stormy winds did blow, and the raging seas did roar, while we poor sailors captain of our gallant ship, and a well-speaking man was he. I married a wife in fair London town, and this night she a widow will be. The stormy winds did blow, and the raging seas did roar, while we poor sailors went to the top, and the landlubbers lay below, 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 and the landlubbers lay below. Then up spoke the captain of our gallant ship, and a valiant man was he. For once at the boat we shall be drowned, but she sunk to the bottom of the sea. The stormy winds did blow, and the raging seas did roar, while we poor sailors went to the top, and the landlubbers lay below, 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 and the landlubbers lay below. Moon shone bright, and the stars gave light, and my mother was looking for me. She might look and weep with watery eyes, she might look to the bottom of the sea. The stormy winds did blow, and the raging seas did roar, while we poor sailors went to the top, and the landlubbers lay below, 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 and the landlubbers lay below. 3 times round went our gallant ship, and 3 times round went she. 3 times round went our gallant ship, then she sunk to the bottom of the sea. The stormy winds did blow, the raging seas did roar, while we poor sailors went to the top, and the landlubbers lay below, 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 and the landlubbers lay below. Song called The Mermaid, yeah. And as we say, I guess we kind of owe the nearest arrangement to ours, or rather our arrangement is nearest to the Clancy Brothers. And they performed it for several decades, and in fact I think they, particularly through Liam Clancy's wonderful storytelling introductions, made it somewhat of a comical affair, which it kind of is, but definitely worth checking out some American folk threads on the internet around that they take it a little more seriously, and that in turn adds a slightly darker element to it. So yeah, there you go.
A few comments come in. Melanie Joy says, excellent. Yes, I'm new. You said we were to tell you what we thought, even if it wasn't good. Well, thank you very much, Melanie. That's very kind of you to let us know.
Well, what did she tell us that wasn't good then?
No, she said it is all good.
Oh, okay, good.
And Kasia Marcin-Koska, anyone else here from Poland? I'm 100% sure I know this song translated into Polish, but I can't recall what it's called or who sings it. So it's the melody that obviously that's familiar. Anybody else in from Poland tonight? And if so, please comment on here and put Kasia out of her misery as to what the Polish translation song might be called, or perhaps who sings it. Give her a clue, help her out. Maggie Clark gives 3 rounds of applause. And
actually, could I just add to that? If anybody does let Cassie know, or Cassie, if you find out or remember, would you let us know? Would you send us a copy or a link to a version of it? Because we love to sing shanties in not in English. I mean, we're not very good at it, but we certainly love to listen to them and have a go ourselves.
We're not great in English, to be fair. Jude Burnett learnt this one at primary school from weekly radio broadcasts singing together in 1950s.
You're never that old, Jude.
You do not look, even that
Stop
little
it.
picture does not look like you could have been singing that in primary school in the 1950s. It was a highlight of our week, apparently, though.
Yeah.
Marion Bouchette, our lovely correspondent from British Columbia in Canada, says, nice dramatic interpretation of The Mermaid, thank you very much. There was a little bit of drama involved then. Loving the characterisation.
You're welcome.
Look at him there. Oh, fantastic, says Michelle Gallagher. That was before you put the hat on.
Yeah.
The louder the better. That was great. Love to hear you two singing together. Thank you very much, Sandra. And we can't wait to sing with our bunch of rogues, the Rogue Shanty Chorus. I'm just going to show you a little picture of what the Rogue Shanty Chorus looked like, because if you don't know, then you don't know. But if you do know, then you'll know that they look like this.
What? I can't understand that. I can't keep up.
You don't need to. They can keep up with me. So this is our Rogue Shanty Chorus at one of our most recent shows at the Seagull Theatre. This is where we tend to meet. It's a beautiful little community theatre, a black box theatre for those in the know. And you can see that they're quite a large crowd. That isn't even them at full capacity. That's just those that were able to make it. But we had a sell-out audience that night.
Yeah, I would add to that as well that we are an authentic fishing choir. We're based in Lowestoft, which is the most easterly point of the UK, and about as far east as you can go without getting your toes wet. Has a very strong cultural and historical tradition of sailing, particularly fishermen, going back to the Middle Ages really, and certainly up until about between the two world wars, had one of the most unrivaled ports in the UK, and shared much of the herring wealth, harvest very well, very hard earned, with many towns and sailing communities, fishing communities in the UK. But certainly there are people within living memory who had relatives in the fishing industry, and so we are an authentic fishing choir. And even within that picture, you can see people playing fishing games that men used to play in the pubs, particular domino game. There's a lovely lady called Jackie who's actually knitting a Gansey, which is a fisherman's jumper. And Ganseys were actually, there is a Gansey society in Lowestoft. I'm going to say I think it's run by a lady called Jan Whitehead, but somebody might correct me if they know and if I'm wrong. And just for those who don't know, Ganseys were fishermen's jumpers, were made specifically for fishermen, and there was quite an art to creating them and knitting them, and often there were often many fishermen's wives would have a go, and some were better than others, but each town or community often had their own style. And the idea of the Gansey, it did several things really. One was obviously being a jumper, it would keep the men warm. It was knitted very tight, so it was to keep them warm out on the cold sea. But also
so tight, also it could repel a certain amount of rain.
Well, they used to coat it with oil to keep the not only the men warm but the water out. The sleeves were often made short, so there was no chance that they would catch them on nets or things that might pull them overboard. Aside from having a unique kind of stitching pattern, which was attributed to, say, Lowestoft or the town or the community, often the wives or the sweethearts would knit in something further that would maybe some initials or something that would, if a man went overboard and died and his body was washed ashore and he couldn't be identified, they would often use the Gansey to do just that. But there are still some there's a big community of Gansey knitters across the country, and as I say, we've got a wonderful group in Lowestoft that continues to knit Ganseys, and in fact I think they take commissions. They'll knit you a Gansey if you can barter a deal to do such a thing. There you go.
They will. We're going to go for another song that's particular to the southwest again. This one's not a shanty, and it's not a Cornish national anthem. This one's well, we probably don't need to explain it because we sang it fairly recently and gave a long explanation, but if you listen to the lyrics or read them, it's actually a true story. So we're going to give this to you. It's The Unnatural Murder, and it's an apocryphal tale all about some dastardly goings on and very, very strange doings. It's number 28 in our Rogues folders.
What does apocryphal mean?
Well, have a listen to the song.
It means nasty.
Have a listen to the song and you'll find out.
Okay. He's not at all patronising, is he, this boy? Here we go.
And patronising is basically when you... All you who have children dear, now hear this tale of woe. The history of this tragedy I now to you will show. A happy couple at Penryn had a son who went to sea, and after 15 years returned. His parents for to see. He to their cot disguised did go, asked shelter from the cold, and ere he laid him down to sleep, showed all his wealth and gold. The mother to the father went in anxious, breathless haste,
and told of treasure she had seen around the stranger's way.
Round the stranger's way.
The father then by Satan led to take the killer's part. He stole the cursed gold away and stabbed his own boy's heart. And scarce before the parents yet had seen the morrow's light, their daughter came with joy to ask of the sailor there last night. She said, it is my brother James who long at sea has roved. He's come back home to share his wealth with those he dearly loved. Oh, when they found the murdered youth was their own darling boy, most frightful horror seized their minds, and bitterly they cried. The guilty pair them sue themselves, their sin they could not hide, and the broken-hearted daughter sank to the ground and died.
So there you have it, the unnatural murder, and this was actually a broadside within a publication called Smeaton's, and although the case was undated, the crime it describes can be traced back to 1618, and we know that because it was in the annals of James I. And the actual victim, as Paul said, it's a true story. The actual victim was a gentleman called James Andrew Macaulay. So there you have. All right, shall we do something else?
Yeah, let's do something else. How about we go back to guessing what this little word might mean for our regular slot.
Lastinist.
Lastinist. Anybody want to know what lastinist might mean?
Lastinist.
Anybody want to have a little guess? Have a little guess.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
Over here in comment corner, a few people have been they've been commenting in. Sandra Warner says, "I really don't like this. Sorry." Okay, fair enough. Now, Grasnia Masiek Bansisk. Forgive me if I'm totally wrong on that.
Yeah,
she
I think
says,
you could
yes, I am from Poland. Zertri Rifi sang this one. Cyrena was the name, I think. Well known in Poland. Love your singing. Well, thank you very much. We're going to make note of that. Now, that was for our regular contributor, Kaziumarskin Kowska. She said, anyone else from Poland? I'm 100% sure I know this song translated into Polish, but I can't recall what it's called or who sings it. Was that The Mermaid? I can't remember now.
No, it was something else. It was. Oh well, I don't. I'm not entirely sure what it was. Maybe it was Way Down the Ohio.
Anyway, as we've heard from Grazina. Yes, I'm from Poland. Gzerteri Rifi sang this one. Cyrena was the name, I think. Thank you. We'll have a look that up, and I'm sure Cassie will as well, and let us know. So, back to Stephen.
Yeah, so I think we're going to do a song now, and I forget where we learned this. This is not in the repertoire of the Rogue Shanty Chorus, but Paul and I love it. We do it with our group, the Rogue Shanty Boys. In fact, it's on our album. Have we got that? Yeah,
it's
our
called
album
Above Board.
Called Above Board, which you can get on iTunes and you can get on Spotify and Amazon and all that. Above Board, the Rogue Shanty Boys, but it's not boys with a B-O-Y-S, it's boys B-U-O-Y-S. And the song's known as Let the Bullgine Run, Clear the Track, or The Eliza Lee. And this is one of the songs that proves that all you need to do to create a shanty is just throw the word Timmy into any song. And I think I'm going to concentrate on letting Paul do the main vocals, and I'm going to put a little beat in.
For the smartest packet you can find a hey-ho, are you most done? Is the old wildcat of the swallowtail line. Clear away the track and let the bullgine run to me, hey, rig a jig and a jaunting run. Hey-ho, are you most done? With Eliza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bullgine run. Oh, the old wildcat of the swallowtail line. Hey-ho, are you most done?
She's never a day behind her time. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, rig a jig and a jaunting run. Hey, ho, are you most done? With Eliza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run. No, we're outward bound for New York town. Hey, ho, are you most done? Barry gals will waltz around. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, rig a jig and a jaunting run. Hey, ho, are you most done? With Eliza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run. When we stowed our freight at the West Street Pier. Hey, ho, are you most done? It's home to Liverpool, then we'll steer. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, rig a jig and a jaunting run. Hey, ho, you most done? With Eliza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run. No, them Bowery gals will give us fun. Hey, ho, are you most done? Chatham Street Dives is home from home. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, rig a jig and a jaunting run. Hey, ho, are you most done? With Eliza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run. When we all gets back to Liverpool town. Hey, ho, are you most done? I'll stand you whiskies all around. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, rig a jig and a jaunting run. Hey, ho, are you most done? With Eliza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run. Oh, heave a paw, oh, bear a hand. Hey, ho, are you most done? Just one more pull and make her stand. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, rig a jig and a jaunting run. Hey, ho, are you most done? With Eliza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run. Oh, when I gets home across the sea. Hey, ho, are you most done? Liza, will you marry me? Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, rig a jig and a jaunting run. Hey, ho, are you most done? With Eliza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run to me. Hey, rig a jig and a jaunting run. Hey, ho, are you most done? With Eliza Lee all on my knee. Clear away the track and let the bull giant run.
Oh, we're finished on a minor there.
Why
Lovely.
not?
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, I think we need to say no more about that. Nice and lively, says Claire Goward. Thank you very much. Or lice and lively. Jude Bennett says brilliant. Thank you. Jackie Draper says love this song, beautifully sung, good percussion.
He's playing the ribs, way.
I was playing the ribs. In fact, we have some authentic Irish bones. Didn't feel fantastic, but thank you very much. Oh, Marion Bichette says wonderful. Never heard that one before. Bull Giant, yeah. So it's actually made. In fact, I think I ought not to say this because I only think it. But from memory, I think that song is actually American in origin, based on. Now Barry is going to correct me on this if I'm wrong.
Maggie.
Yeah, because Barry does correct me, but because I know I've had a conversation with Barry about this, and I think we decided, or we agreed, that Bull Giant was the manufacturer of the first steam engine, and this was a song that was actually sung by Americans, in particular, as they moved from one industry to another. So as they moved from railroading to logging to fishing. According to how the seasons went quiet, and those three industries, you just needed really upper body strength and a good work ethic, as many fishermen had, and it transferred itself to railroading and logging, and being about the Eliza Lee and clear away the track and let the bull giant run. So I think I'm probably about right in saying that, but maybe someone will correct me if not.
No, I think Eliza Lee. Oh, actually, Cassie Martinkowska is about to say the same thing. Liza Lee is a very Americanised female name as well, isn't it?
There you go, then. Yeah. Claire Louise Langley says, love this amazing song. Oh, well, there you go.
I'm just going to pick up on something Stephen said, which was about the how the migration of those industries or the workers of those industries took place. And another industry that benefited very much from that kind of transient workforce is actually the theatre industry. Now, many of you may not know, but in a British theatre, if you were to whistle backstage, it's considered very bad luck. Oh, you don't do it. You do not do it. In case someone thought that was an owl.
Yeah.
You don't do it because the reason is the stagehands that would work the ropes backstage would communicate via whistles, rather than shout, drop in the backdrop or whatever.
they'd use whistles, and that's because that's exactly the same communication that took place up in the sails or in the hoops of sailing ships.
That's where they were dandy, wasn't it? Up in the hoops.
They were up in the hoops. They were dandy, and the reason they used whistles is because it travelled well through the wind. But those same sailors or the loggers or what have you, they would be part of that transient workforce, and they would also work in theatres, and it's through those working men that the practices of backstage and stagehands were established, and that's why you shouldn't whistle in a British theatre, and that's from whence it came. Now, talking of British theatre,
things you never knew.
Talking of British theatre, our Chancellor of the Exchequer, basically the guy that funds our country, or budgets our country, at this point in time today has said that pretty much the industry is not viable anymore.
Well, no, they said it wasn't viable last week, didn't they? Today, he said that everybody needs to retrain. Yeah, so I'm going to train as a drummer.
Yeah, good. It wasn't actually him. It was Oliver Dowden, I think, that said they weren't viable. But Rishi Sunak today says, look for another job. But in the meantime, if you'd like to support us further...
Very good.
Yeah, we're laughing, but, children's got to eat. You can do so by making a donation at www.paypal.me/onlinechoir. You'll see the page on your screen now. You can donate by debit card or PayPal. Times are hard for us all, so any amount is very gratefully received and will go directly towards keeping the Rogue Shanty Chorus singing. So we will use your donations. If you choose to make one, we will use them specifically to make sure the Rogue Shanty Chorus keeps singing.
Specifically, I'm going to get a YTS scheme in, I don't know, what could I be? I'd be a plumber.
I think welding's probably good.
Yeah.
Or a state agency.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Sales.
Well, look, I mean, it's no secret that I love a good Irish song.
Does he?
I do love a good Irish song. And so much so that I even veer off of singing maritime music and sea shanties when I find one that I love. Now and again I do one, and generally any Irish songs that I share on here have kind of a theme of speed. They're very fast. So I've done so we do Pat Murphy, which is not actually an Irish song, it's a Canadian song by it's not a traditional song either, by a wonderful group called the Great Big Sea, but it's certainly about the Irish immigrants and the Irish lifestyle. But also I have done some traditional Irish songs, Little Beggar Man, which is a fantastic song, and Lanigan's Ball, and Rattling Bog.
And there's a Silly Wizard one as well, that's Irish in...
Is it? I thought it was Scottish.
It's Celtic, it's all the same.
Yeah. Okay, all the Irish people are going to write in now. Well, look, this is a lovely song called The Rocky Road to Dublin. Okay, I make no apologies for breathing loudly on mic during this one. Anyway, goes like this. In the merry month of June, from my home I started, left the girls in tune, sad and broken hearted, saluted father dear, kissed my darling mother, drank a pint of beer, my grief and tears to smother, enough to reap the corn, leave where I was born, cut a stout blackthorn to banish ghosts and goblins, brand new pair of brogues, rattling all the bugs, frightened all the dogs on the rocky road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn it down the rocky road to Dublin. The way to Dublin, Wackful Ollie Ra. In Mullingar that night I rested limbs so weary, started body light and spirits bright and early. Took a drop of the pure to keep me heart from sinking, that's the paddy's cure whenever he's on for drinking. To see the lassie smile, laughing all the while at me curious stouts would set your heart a-bubbling. Asked if I was high, wages I required, till I was nearly tired of the rocky road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn it down the rocky road all the way to Dublin. Wackful Ollie Ra. In Dublin next arrive, I thought it such a pity to be soon deprived of you of that fine city. Well then I took a stroll all among the quality bundle, it was stolen in a neat locality. Something crossed me mind when I looked behind, no bundle could I find upon me stick a wobbling, inquiring for the road. Said me conic bro wasn't much in vogue on the rocky road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn it down the rocky road all the way to Dublin. Wackful Ollie Ra. Well, there I got away, my spirits never failing, landed on the quay just as my ship was sailing. Captain at me raw, said that no rum had he. When I jumped aboard, a captain found for Paddy, down among the pigs, played some funny rigs, danced some hardy jigs, the water round me bubbling. When at Holyhead, wished myself was dead, I bet a fire instead on the rocky road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn it down the rocky road all the way to Dublin. Whack for lolly rah. The boys of Liverpool, when we safely landed, called myself a fool, I could no longer stand it. Blood began to boil, temper I was losing, poor old Erin's Isle, they began abuse. Around my soul, says I, shillelagh I let fly, some Galway boys were by, they saw that I was hobbling with a loud hurrah, joined in the affray, quickly cleared the way for the rocky road to Dublin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hunt the hare and turn it down the rocky road, all the way to Dublin. Whack for lolly rah. Hunt the hare and turn it down the rocky road all the way to Dublin. Whack for lolly rah, whack for lolly rah, whack for lolly rah. Hey, so the rocky road to Dublin. Some great versions out there, but certainly one of the more traditional Irish songs that we sing to. I think dated to around maybe early 1700s, early 18th century.
In the meantime, please do pop in your comments box what you think this Suffolk word or phrase might mean. Lastinist. 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 Any ideas what that word might mean? Do have a guess, pop it in your comments box and let us know what you think. So some people that have commented, one is Jerry Brzezinski. And he says, hello everybody. Hello Jersey. Lovely to know that you're with us tonight again. Thank you very much. And that's a chap that knows a very, very great deal about shanties and sailing. He also says, absolutely amazing tune. Thank you very much, Jersey. And like I said, great to know that you're out there. Sue Day, she's been in touch and says, loving tonight as always. Thanks so much for the Cornish songs to enrich my time here and share it with all you guys. Well, I wish you could actually share it because Cornwall is a lovely part of the country, even when the weather's not great. And I have to tell our foreign correspondents, it's not great in the UK right now. It's been raining for what seems like 7 years. Claire Garrett says, didn't know the history, but knew that you shouldn't whistle. Interesting factoid, boys. Thank you very much. And Marion Bouchette, no place to take a breath on the rocky road to Dublin. No, it is literally like running the rocky road to Dublin. Love a good Irish song, says Michelle Gallagher. My grandparents came from Donegal. Grazinia says, it's on my list to learn the lyrics by heart. Tough. It is tough. It's very, very tough. Monica Manning says, hi Gillian. And we say hi Gillian as well. Hope you're very well, Gillian. And enjoying it. So come on guys, one more time. We're not going to have much longer left to guess what the word lastiness might mean. Lastiness. So have a little guess. Let us know in the comments box. We love to receive your comments. Something else that we love is when you do us a favour by clicking share. Just click share, and that means that everybody from your friends list on Facebook, if that's how you're viewing, gets to see what we're up to today. It means we can engage with a few more people and let them know the good work that the People's Health Trust are doing by funding us.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go back actually to Marianne Bouchert's comment about no place to breathe. No, absolutely not. And although I absolutely wouldn't profess that I put that anywhere near where it should be, either in terms of the speed or the beats, the notation that we use makes this seem very complicated, this song. So as quite a typical Irish rhythm, which is classified as a slip or a hop jig in 9/8 timing, and then there's often an extra beat or two between the chorus and the verse, which is added, so I guess that changes the time signature further. And then sometimes the final line in the verses is sung with 7 strong musical beats, which is 9/8 plus 12/8. So, and frighten all the dogs on the rocky road to Dublin. So every strong musical beat is kind of emphasised, rather than with 6 strong musical beats. And it's actually based on the Dorian mode of music, which is also called Russian minor, and that's like a diatonic scale, which just uses or corresponds with the white keys on the piano.
Wasn't Dorian mode when I did the
isn't that the book that Oscar Wilde wrote?
The Tale of Dorian Mode?
Yeah, the portrait of Dorian Mode.
What's the Canadian song I did?
Yes.
Oh no, that was Mixolydian Mode.
Yeah.
Mixolydian mode.
Yeah. Anyway, look. Have we got another song?
We've got a couple more, I think, before we depart.
Bid adieu.
Bid adieu. This one is quite recent to our repertoire. It's called Whiskey Johnny. It's number 59. You won't have a printout, but you will be able to read the lyrics on the screen.
Why won't they have a printout?
Because we added this since lockdown began.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well, that was me told then, wasn't it, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes, that were.
Well.
59. So it goes like this. Oh, whiskey is the life of man, whiskey Johnny. Oh, I'll get whiskey where I can. Whiskey for me Johnny. Oh, whiskey here and whiskey there, whiskey Johnny. Oh, I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny. Whiskey made me pawn me clothes, whiskey Johnny, and whiskey gave me this red nose. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh whiskey here and whiskey there, whiskey Johnny, oh I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny, I'll drink it hot, I'll drink it cold, whiskey Johnny, I'll drink it new, I'll drink it old. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh whiskey here and whiskey there, whiskey Johnny, oh I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh whiskey killed my poor old dad, whiskey Johnny, and whiskey drove my mother mad. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh whiskey here and whiskey there, whiskey Johnny, oh I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny, some like whiskey, some like beer, whiskey Johnny, I wish I had a barrel here. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh whiskey here and whiskey there, whiskey Johnny, oh I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny, whiskey killed my sister Sue, whiskey Johnny, and whiskey killed my brother too. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh whiskey here and whiskey there, whiskey Johnny, oh I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh whiskey up and whiskey down, whiskey Johnny, oh whiskey all around the town. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh whiskey here and whiskey there, whiskey Johnny, oh I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh champagne's good and rum is free, whiskey Johnny, but whiskey's good enough for me. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh whiskey here and whiskey there, whiskey Johnny, oh I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny, oh whiskey here and whiskey there, whiskey Johnny, oh I'll get whiskey everywhere. Whiskey for me Johnny. So that was the aforementioned Whiskey Johnny.
And in fact, the word whiskey there was sung 73 times in that song. I know because I counted it as we went. And if you tag the chorus twice at the end as Paul did, 78 times.
Yeah.
Boom.
We do like a whiskey or 78.
We do like some whiskey trivia. Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. Marion Bichette says a Canadian song in Mixolydian mode. We're gonna have to hunt it down now.
It was the Edmund Fitzgerald. I'm sure it was Mixolydian mode, wasn't it?
I was thinking of something else you did. Don't know. We'll find out.
I may have been wrong. It certainly wasn't Dorian mode, Dave.
Yeah. Gratzina, is that how you say your name? Probably not. Probably we're both wrong, and we do apologise. But she says, is on my list to learn the lyrics by heart. Tough. Do you mean The Rocky Road to Dublin?
She does, because I've already read that one.
Oh, have you? Okay.
Yeah.
My goodness, that would be quite something.
Yeah.
I struggle to learn any lyrics, to be honest, but that would be...
I can't even read them.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Although I did... there's another wonderful, very fast Irish song called Lanigan's Ball, which I've done in a previous stream, and I spoke to a lovely Irish lady, an ex-professional BBC performer, and she knew the lyrics off by heart. And she just said, although we're not taught it as children, you just kind of learn it by osmosis growing up. So anyway, there's a comment there from Monica Manning. She says, very nice. Not sure what you're talking about, Monica. Maybe the song?
Very nice.
Yeah. And Carly says, can't wait to sing this when we're back. Yeah, and we are back from next week. And what are we talking about? We are back.
What are we talking about?
Next Tuesday, we
13th.
have our very first physical, live, in-person shanty rehearsal with our Rogue Shanty Chorus. Now, unfortunately, that means that we can't be here doing this, and so that means that Tuesday, the 20th of October, is our next episode, and that's episode number 30. 30 whopping episodes we'll have done, and that will be our next one. So not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, unfortunately, because we will be physically together with our Shanty Chorus, unless DCMS and the government decide that also choirs are not viable and choristers should retrain too, in which case we will come here and do this normal live stream. But look, if we don't do next Tuesday because we're rehearsing physically with our choir, don't be sad, because next Monday you can tune in to catch Ivan Bunn with episode 18 of the Lowestoft History Sessions. If you're not local to Lowestoft, firstly, you might find the history of Lowestoft very interesting, but if you are not anyway, it doesn't really matter too much, because Ivan will actually be talking about the Lowestoft and Bury witch trials. He'll be talking about, Paul, isn't it? No. Okay, I'll be quiet then.
On the next episode, he'll be talking about aspects of Lowestoft's history.
There you go.
It's a much broader discussion and presentation on Lowestoft's history. So the broader geographical area and the broader area of interest as well.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate actually to have Ivan do these wonderful live streams, because Ivan not only is a local legend really, but a very well respected author and historian. But Ivan's books actually have been taken into universities and have kind of particularly one of them have been considered like the sort of the preeminent authority on the Lowestoft and the Bury witch trials in many universities up and down the country, and in fact abroad too. So if you're not local, doesn't mean you can't tune in. You might well find something that interests you, and Ivan often touches on the history beyond just Lowestoft, but Waveney, which is the area around Lowestoft, and East Anglia as well,
and he really makes it personal as well, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
He manages to bring it all to life. If you didn't get the chance to see the last episode, which was in fact 17, I think, that was the one that he conducted on the Lowestoft witch trials, but more so concentrated on the witch finders of the area. And fascinating it was, he was a real advocate for the young women and the men that were tarnished with that brush of witchcraft. So that's still available, as are all of his live stream episodes. If you missed that one, and there was one way back about two young ladies, Mary Denny and Amy Denny. Yeah, that was way back in the episodes. Do give them all a good look, because they're fascinating, and you don't have to tune in live, although you are very welcome to. Yeah.
Well, look, we're coming towards the end, but we're not going to do our usual thing of forgetting what the word is. If anybody wants to nip in with the guess of what the word means, the word is lastinist.
That word again is lastinist, and we'd be absolutely delighted to know if there's any guesses that are going to creep in. I think we might have one here. Let's have a little look.
Yeah, if you want to creep in, look, we've got a book here, so we're about to tell you what it means. So you need to hurry up, look.
No,
I'm afraid.
Well, just to let you know, just in case someone can creep in, one more time, that we owe our thanks to People's Health Trust for funding not just our project and making it so that we can meet up with our lovely rogues next week on the 13th. Just a limited number capacity for that event due to the restrictions for the epidemic. But they've also managed to keep us going through this social distancing period via these live stream episodes. This is number 29. They're all available to view. Most of them available on YouTube, but all of them are now available on Facebook. So please do go back, have a little look if you wish. And if not, then we'll see you either in person on the 13th if you've booked a space, and if you haven't, we'll see you on the live stream following that.
Yeah. So look, have you spoken about the book yet?
A little bit, but do speak again.
Well, so this is a wonderful book called Suffolk Words and Phrases by Edward Moore, published first in 1823, and published because Edward Moore, growing up, had a real profound interest in local language, dialect from his native East Anglia, in particular Suffolk, and he went off to serve in India. And when he came back, he kind of felt that many words and phrases and colloquialisms were in decline and were not used, and that made him rather sad, poor Edward. So Edward decided to collate many of these phrases in the hope that if they did kind of become discontinued or expired, there would be a lexicon of what the words meant, so that future generations could find out. But hopefully also he felt that he might encourage people to continue using them, and maybe his work did the trick, because many of the words in this book still are used. I know them, Paul hears them, and we certainly know that when we speak to some of our choir, they have heard them. But we deliberately, on a weekly basis, try and pick a word that isn't so well known. See if you can have a guess at what it might mean. And as we've mentioned, probably too many times, but several, lastingest is the word for this week. And, bum bum bum, we need a drum roll. I guess this shouldn't be a surprise, really. Lastingest means most lasting. Oak, we should say, is the lastingest wood, or the most endurable. Oh, there you go, look.
Jersey guessed it correctly.
Yeah. So it says, Edward says, we have some rather curious superlatives. Most docilicist, for instance. But lastiness means most endurable or most lasting. And we did actually get, or we'll say, a winner. You don't win anything.
Sorry, Jersey.
Yeah, it's a bit rubbish. I've just spotted, actually, Paul made some notes for this evening, and for the unnatural murder, or you who have children dear now here, the song that we did earlier. Paul kind of described the song, and he's put, in a nutshell, disguised sailor returns home to his parents, hoping to surprise them with his newfound wealth. They mistake him for a stranger, kill him, steal his gold. When the mistake comes to light, both parents commit suicide, and the boy's sister dies of grief. Sounds like EastEnders, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we can all relate to that kind of.
Yeah, of course we can. Yeah, we've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah, I must correct myself. It wasn't Mixolydian mode. I'm going to give this to Marion Bouchette. A Canadian song in Mixolydian mode. Do tell. Well, unfortunately, I was totally wrong. It was, in fact, Dorian mode, which was my first guess. I looked it up. The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald is written and performed in Dorian mode, the same as the Rocky Road to Dublin.
Yeah, or Russian minor, as it's also known. Just using the white keys, basically, on the piano. So in theory, a simple song, but we know that.
I think it's sort of Hellenic, because it does, or Cyrillic, because it crosses over to Greek Orthodoxy as well.
Yeah, so it's basically a symmetrical scale. The pattern of the whole and half step is the same, ascending or descending. So it's a scale or an arpeggio. Anyway, look, enough talk about that. We're going to sound like we know what we're talking about. There's a few more comments we want to do as we're about to finish.
And we have got one song left to sing that we would like to sing for you, and we would like you all to join in with. But before we go, let's see what people say. Pam Stone, thanks for another great evening.
Maggie Clark, or Claggy Mark as we call her, says, thanks boys, fingers crossed for next Thursday. Absolutely, thank you. Melanie Joyce says, really enjoyed myself this evening singing away. I shall look for the previous sessions. Oh, well, thank you, and Melanie. And yeah, you'll find them on our Facebook, all curated into two playlists, the Lursoff History Sessions and the Shanty Sessions. There were 28 previous ones. Gillian Lamprey, we miss Gillian. She says, thanks guys.
Thanks, Gillian.
Michelle says, thank you for a wonderful evening, and People's Health Trust for your fun. Absolutely, yeah. Look, there's quite a few there. Jackie Draper says, thanks guys, have a great time. Linda Boy says, hope all goes well for the roads next week. I will miss you. Oh, look, there's loads of comments. I'm feeling the love tonight. Thank you very, very much. We're going to finish with this one. I think we're going to dedicate this one to Sue. We've dedicated a few already.
And also to Jersey for winning the Suffolk word or phrase.
Yeah, so this was collected by gentlemen, well, it's supposed to have been collected. There is some consternation and disagreement about this in some of the folk, not only books but online forums that we've explored. But Mervyn Vincent of Cornwall, this song, and he claimed that he found the words in a piece of paper within a library book. Somebody else claimed, a friend of his claims to have heard that song sung 20 years previously to that, to kind of compound the fact that it was a traditional, but many people dispute that and say that actually Mervyn Vincent may have been playing a bit of a flounder there. Either way, it's certainly considered a traditional, and it's passed into the annals of sea shanty and folk songs as a traditional song, and it's usually sung at the end of a sing around within a pub or the end of it. Certainly we've sung it at several festivals at the very end, along with many other groups. And it's a song called, I guess you might have realised already, the Farewell Shanty, or Padstow Farewell for Sue down in Cornwall. It is time to go now, haul away your anchor, haul away your anchor, 'tis our sailing time. Get some sail upon her, haul away your halyards, haul away your halyards, 'tis our sailing time. Set her on her course now, haul away your foresheets, haul away your foresheets, 'tis our sailing time. Till the seas run under, Timmy, haul away down Channel, haul away down Channel, on the evening tide. When my time is over, haul away for heaven, haul away for heaven, Lord, be at my side. Yeah, so thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Next week, if you want to, you can catch some of our previous live streams, unless you are rehearsing with us, in which case we really look forward to doing that. And then we certainly look forward to coming back to you the week after with episode 30 of the Shanty Sessions.